Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tyler. Welcome back to Scorpio Oxman Channel. Happy 60th birthday to Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of the 20th century and one of the greatest athletes of all time in world history. He's got to be at least in the top two, in my opinion, of greatest athletes. And he really put basketball on the map, the National Basketball Association. And ironically, now a couple of years ago, I did a video on Michael Jordan for his on his primal astrology day sign, and which is the koala. The spirit of the koala in primal astrology is who Michael Jordan is. Now, I'm gonna I'm gonna show that again, the detail of how he is spirit of the koala. Michael Jordan is a real Scorpio moon. His moon sign is Scorpio, Scorpio moon, and that explains a lot, as a lot of astrologers believe that Scorpio is the most powerful sign of the zodiac, the most powerful of all the signs of the zodiac. And in combination, his day sign is Day of the Rabbit in Chinese astrology, also known as Vietnamese astrology. So the combination of Scorpio and Rabbit is the koala in primal astrology. Now, I want to tell you something very interesting that occurred this week. So today is Friday, February the 17th. And so his 60th is today. Ironically, now the Day of the Koala in primal astrology, it probably occurs maybe only twice a year, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, not even. Ironically, we had Day of the Koala this week on Tuesday. On Tuesday, February the 14th, Valentine's Day, ironically, we had the Scorpio moon. We also had Day of the Rabbit in Chinese astrology, and that combination makes Day of the Koala. So ironically, so that was pretty close. It's incredibly rare for somebody to have their birthday right on the exact same day as their spirit animal that they were born on in primal astrology. So I thought that was pretty amazing. And in fact, I could even show you that for the proof. Okay, so we're gonna once again look at his, by the way, the NBA All-Star weekend is this weekend in the National Basketball Association. And it's probably not a coincidence. I'm just saying something here for just in general, that I believe it's probably not a coincidence that they're having the NBA All-Star game in Salt Lake City, Utah. And that is the same city where Michael Jordan played his last game as a Chicago Bull. Michael Jordan played his very last game as a Chicago Bull in Salt Lake City. So that's an ironic, unless it's an ironic coincidence, but that I think that could be the reason why they have the All-Star weekend in Salt Lake City, unless it's a coincidence, because he played his very last game as a Chicago Bull for the Chicago Bulls in Salt Lake City in 1998 in the playoffs. 1998, the game where he hit the game winner to win the 1998 NBA championship for the Chicago Bulls was in Salt Lake City. Okay, so let's go to, yeah, I'm going to show you the proof of his date of birth first, as always. Rising sign. Now, as from the video that we did before, we already know his date of birth. He's born in Brooklyn. He's actually a Brooklyn native, Brooklyn, New York, 1:40 p.m. on February the 17th, 1963. Okay, I'll just show you the proof of that anyhow. Okay, yeah, here he is right here, Brooklyn, New York, February 17, 1963, 1:40 p.m. Yeah, so there it is. So again, I'm going to show you. So we're going to go to Mastering the Zodiac again. Mastering the Zodiac. So again, Mastering the Zodiac, it shows the real natural sky zodiac in outer space, shows it in outer space as it really is if we were to see it with our own eyes. Okay. Born on the 17th. Say Brooklyn. Oh. Okay, perfect. Again, 1:40 p.m. This is time of birth. Okay, so here he is right here. Michael Jordan, February 17, 1963, in 1:40 p.m. in Brooklyn, New York. So as you can see, as I mentioned, his moon sign is Scorpio. So there is his moon in the sign of Scorpio. And of course, he is Aquarius sun. His sun sign is Aquarius. Okay, now I'm going to show you briefly his day sign in Chinese astrology or Vietnamese astrology. Let's go to this one here. Perfect. And okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll just say 1:40 p.m. Yeah, so here he is once again right here. February 17, 1963. We know that he's year of rabbit, 1963, year of rabbit, month of tiger, day of rabbit. So because and his rising sign is the goat or sheep, sheep as it's called in China, the Chinese astrology, but in the Vietnamese astrology, it's called the goat. So there you go. Yeah, his rising, the hour he was born in was hour of the goat. So that probably says a lot. And so as you can see, his day sign is the rabbit. So again, the combination of Scorpio and rabbit is the koala, the spirit of the koala in primal astrology. Okay. Primal astrology. Okay, so we're going to go to primalastrology.com, signs by combination, and we'll show you the proof that the sign Scorpio combined with the cat or the rabbit. In Chinese astrology, it's called the rabbit. In the Vietnamese version, it's the cat. It's the fourth sign is called the cat, but in the Chinese version, Chinese astrology, it's called the rabbit. Okay, so Scorpio rabbit. So again, here it is, spirit of the koala. So let's read about the spirit of the koala. I'm going to read some stuff in the article that I didn't before, so that we have the new information that we know on the spirit of the koala, who is Michael Jordan, born day of the koala in primal astrology. Okay, so spirit of the koala, emotional, powerful, and intense. Those born under the primal zodiac sign of koala are often not what you expect. Not what you expect. It's not that they are putting up a false front. It's that they are trying to keep their tornado of emotion safely inside of themselves. But if that tornado gets out, then it's going to be 60 some points in an NBA game and demolishing every opponent that he faces on the basketball court, in my opinion, if that tornado ever gets out. Koalas almost always approach life with good intentions, but with so much inner emotional turmoil, plans can miscarry and life can often seem frustrating to them. This is a sign that wants what they want when they want it. But they also try to refrain from using their power indiscriminately. Though they may seem cute and friendly, koalas also have a dark side. And you'll see that right here. The writer of this article, I used to work with a guy from Australia who said that tourists were often too friendly toward koalas there, despite their small stature and calm demeanor. These marsupials also have long, sharp claws and can be very territorial. Similarly, those born under the sign of koala can seem harmless from a distance on the basketball court. They could seem harmless on the basketball court, but they can be quite defensive if provoked or approached without caution, especially on the basketball court, I imagine. Wink, wink. Okay, a tendency of this sign, check this out. This says a lot right here, and I'll tell you a story about Michael Jordan. A tendency of this sign is to use passive aggression and subtle manipulation to get what they want. Now, there's a true story about Michael Jordan. What he used to do was there were stories that before the basketball games, he would be chummy with his opponents. So he would talk all friendly and nice to them and like kind of build up a friendship with them. So, but this was a strategy of his to soften up his opponents, believe it or not. This was a strat. So it was a kind of manipulation that he did. It was a strategy. It was basically a strategy. I don't know if other great players in the league history used to do the same thing, but Michael Jordan, he used to do this. He would be all chummy and friendly, building friendships with his opponents before the game. So, but it was a strategy to soften them up. So when the basketball game started, all of a sudden he would be really aggressive in his playing, and his opponents, they wouldn't be as aggressive as they would have been because they thought, oh, we're friends with Michael Jordan. And you want to know something? That's also the power from the sign of Scorpio, which can be very powerful to control, to have like a type of manipulation for a strategy in a game. So that story I thought was really interesting about what Michael Jordan used to do before the basketball games on the basketball court to manipulate his opponents. So while they try their hardest to be convincing, they can't help but wear their emotions on their sleeves. In fact, with such intensity, others can feel their energy. There you go. Others can feel their energy long before koalas even show it on their faces. So that's another part about the manipulation, how he softened his opponents before the games, so that as a strategy. So koalas are very interested in humanity and human tendencies, almost from a detached point of view. They have many questions about life and their purpose in it. They also are very interested in power and how it can be wielded, though they are not necessarily confrontational types. And they like to have their own space and the freedom to design in the way they please. In this way, they feel that they have control over their own sense of comfort. There you go. Though this can also get out of control. This is not a sign that is very skilled at creating his or her own happiness, which means that koalas often try to use escapism as comfort, which can lead to addictive behavior. So this is such a complex sign that it's difficult to profile them without a birth chart. So there you go. And koalas are deeply emotional, such as the Scorpio is. And on top of that, they have a way of burying their feelings to keep them secret, even to themselves. This means that other planetary influences have an even stronger effect on koalas than they do with most other signs. Okay, now I'm just going to take a peek down here at their careers and goals. Okay, so very briefly, I'll read off some of this. A combination of the Western zodiac Scorpio and Eastern zodiac Rabbit. This sign is true. Check this out. This sign is truly capable of anything. There you go, Michael Jordan. Koalas can become whatever they want to be if they can learn how to focus their energy productively. This includes controlling emotions, a challenge for them, but also one of their core life goals. While Scorpio is highly intelligent and somewhat detached, the rabbit of the Chinese is still sensitive to human suffering. So standard Scorpio careers such as doctor, detective, and coroner may simply be too emotionally intense for koalas to handle. Members of the sign should trust in their personal passions and choose a career that lets them do what they want to do while playing to their strengths. There you go. Choose a career that lets them do what they want to do while playing to their strengths. So there you go. To really career they want. They must also be careful not to push themselves into a career they don't really want. Koalas are fascinated by the way different elements interact, whether those are plants, animals, or chemicals. Accordingly, chemistry and biochemistry are excellent choices for the sign, as are psychiatrist, psychologist, distiller, brewer, winemaker, historian, hypnotist. I think a hypnotist would make sense with Michael Jordan if he had the power to hypnotize his opponents on the basketball court. I imagine he would have had that power, perhaps. And which wouldn't be a surprise, obviously. So not a surprise at all. So, okay, guys, I can't thank you enough for watching again. And on Michael Jordan's birthday. And I give my best to him and his family and all of the National Basketball Association family as well. My heart goes out to him in the NBA and all the family. Okay, so thanks again, guys. And I want to thank you for all my supporters and all you sending questions to me again. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And I love helping you out with any info you want to know about astrology. And okay, guys, thanks again. Keep your questions coming to me. Keep firing your questions at me at scorpiooxman@gmail.com. And I answer your questions for free. So thanks again, guys. All the best. God bless. Take care. Thanks again.